Welcome you here to another another game in the 2025 edition of the North Zone T20 Festival here at the Diego Martin Sporting Complex. The two teams are out and we get ready for the national anthem. So there you have it, the situation here. The official part is out of the way, so now let's get ready for the action out in the middle. And of course, Billy Furlong was out there with the two captains at the toss.
Good evening and welcome to the Diego Martin Sporting Complex. We are here for the North Zone T20 Festival 2025. This is the last game in the round 4 and the two teams doing battle here today. I'm here with both captains, GLENORA Sports Club, Kenroy Williams, the captain, and SHANNON Sports Club, Mr. Whelan George Joyer, the captain. We're here for the toss. The man with the coin is the umpire, match referee, and umpire Sean Wilson. So off we go, gentlemen. Birds is the call. You can just have a word. Kenroy winning the toss, something to bowl for. No surprises there.
No surprises. We wanted to bowl first on this wicket, so we'll see if we can restrict them to a low total and see if we can get it in a short bit of time.
Yeah, you have a game in hand and it's all to play for. We are at the business end of the tournament now.
Yeah, you're right. We have two must-win games and we have to play some good brand of cricket and be disciplined. And I think we will get over it once we play disciplined cricket.
Okay, so have a good game. Yeah, and take care. Okay. If we could have a word with Mr. George Joyer. And what do you think is a good total to post?
We're looking for something around the region of 180 plus. Hopefully our bowlers could come out and defend that afterwards.
Yeah, you have two players. One is the leading run scorer, one is the leading wicket taker, but has not been so successful in the tournament so far. Looking for a good result today.
Yeah, we're hoping the rest of the players could come to the party tonight, including myself. It has been a tough tournament for the boys, but hopefully the guys could continue performing who have been performing and we could get some support for them tonight.
Okay, go well and have a good game.
All right, thanks much.
So that's the news from the toss here. The GLENORA Sports Club have won the toss and opted to bowl first.
So there you have it, the situation there. Of course, GLENORA Sports winning the toss and opting to field first. SHANNON Sports will be the ones batting first, and they're in a bit of a hole here. They have just 2 points from their 3 matches, so this is their final group stage game. The problem for them, Billy, is that they can only muster 4 points even with a win here today. There are already 2 teams in the group that are already on 4 points with an opportunity to go. These are the starting lineups here. Captain Whelan George Joyer, Adrian Joseph, Ikwe Craig, Kelvin John, Nigel Benjamin, Rashawn Guevara, Roddy Juman, Salvan Cummings, Joshua Davis, newcomer batch, and Shamaki Stewart. And for Glenora Williams, Andy Alexander, Daniel Holder, Joshua Clark, Keon Mason, Leonardo Julian, Michael Govaya, Randy Baliram, Stefan Bissoon, Franklin Rouse, and Zachary Basanta. And so we were just making a point about where they stand right now. And Glenora, on the other hand, they've only played 2 games. They have a win and an abandoned game. So they have 3 points. And this is what I'm talking about. So they have 3 points. If they win today, they go to 5. And if they win their final game, they'll go to 7. Here, even if these 2 were to win, one of them would have to win, they could only mark 6 points. So at the end of the day, if Glenora plays and keeps winning, then they could very well top the group, even though they're down at the table at this point in time. But it should be a very interesting. And here we look at some of the top run scorers. And Ikwe Craig, not surprisingly, had a high score of an unbeaten 70, leading the run charts there. And Kyle Ramdu is also in the mix as well. In terms of the bowlers, 10 wickets to Sylvan Cummings and Pradeem Ali, not too surprising it. Amir Ali also is up there. But this could be because I'm almost certain Amir took 2 wickets in his next game, so that should be updated at some point in time. Frank Simmons, 14 fours so far. And in terms of sixes, Dejon Charles with 12 leads the big hit in charge. Kyle Ramdu also there with 7 sixes to his name as well.
Yeah, good evening to all our viewers. North Zone T20 Festival, the back end of the tournament, final game in round 4. And the irony of it, Ruskin, the Shannon Sports Club, they have the leading run scorer in the tournament. They also have the leading wicket taker in that of Cummings. But yet still, they're in real trouble trying to qualify. Although they're third on the table ahead of Blue Malatres, but it's very difficult to see them going through to the next rounds.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bind that they find themselves in. But I suppose you play hard cricket and you could be spoilers at the end of the day. But the idea is, you take a win when you get it. So you don't worry too much about where the chips fall after that. You just kind of push on as best as you possibly can, and you take care of your business.
Yeah, and a big name in the lineup for Shannon Sports. Missed out on a game earlier on. But Joshua Davis is back, and they would certainly need his ability with both bat and ball to add to the strength of this Shannon Sports Club. And Ronaldo Fornilia, he is out with an injury, so that's a big blow as well. So one young player comes in and one goes out. Joshua Davis, former Trinidad and Tobago under 19 player, and he comes back into the lineup.
Yeah, well, from the official word was that they were just rotating players at the time, so it probably was an easy decision once everybody agrees that was the plan all along. You don't want to just spring it on people, at the last minute and then say, well, look, we were going to rotate anyway. But if up front everybody knew that was going to be the approach, then I don't think they should have a problem with it. And it's good that everybody gets a chance to play in a tournament, because you remember in the preliminary round you only have like 4 games, so some persons might only play 1 game, but at least they get a game, and you don't want to have them come here every night and they don't get a chance to showcase their wares.
Particularly coming down to the final stages of the tournament as well. You want to ensure that everybody gets a run, so to speak. And with that being said, Nigel Benjamin is at the top of the order with the captain, Waylon George Joya, and which means Jamel Lashley, he is out of the lineup.
Mikel Govaya is going to open the bowling, as he's done repeatedly now. Most teams that he would play on, they tend to utilize him in this role. So let's see how he goes. And not a bad start at all, as he Immediately beats the outside edge.
Yeah, this team here, GLENORA Sports, is loaded with talent. None more so than the man with the ball in his hand.
And just going down leg there, but again, you could see the batsman just picking up the wrong line right now. Not going anywhere. That foot just in the crease. He didn't really push out to the ball. Again, playing the ball, walking into the shot without really just trying to meet it with the full face of the bat. It just seemed on the move, which is a practice that a lot of batsmen have. They tend to want to play it on the move, but you're probably better advised to be as steady as possible when playing the shot. That's much better, but he still can't get a run. So good start this from Govaya, just keeping Benjamin quiet so far.
Govaya doing what he does best. A lot of dot balls, a lot of variations in terms of speed, line and length as well. Not much turn on offer, but he'll get some drift.
And again, can't get it past that area at point there where Williams is patrolling. This could be a pretty good first over if it's a maiden. What a way to start proceedings here. Trying to turn it on the onside and stifle the appeal, but they will get the leg by to break up the maiden and end the over. One without loss after one.
This GLENORA Sports Club, littered with talent. Kenroy Williams, the captain. He can hit the ball to all parts of the ground, the all-rounder. Bowls some good leg break as well. And he as well has some changes in pace with his leg spin. Of course, Leonardo Julian with the keeping gloves. He'll be at the top of the order. He's found a good partner in Keon Mason. And it's the youngster Salim Khan. He is left out of the lineup tonight. But there is another young man, the opening bowler for Trinidad and Tobago under 19. He's the youth player, Daniel Holder, the left-arm seamer. So a lot of talent in the lineup here. Should get a good game if Shannon plays to the potential again.
Yeah, it's always that's always the challenge. It's how you kind of navigate the 20 overs, or should I say the 40 overs, both with the bat and with the ball. You don't want to do one and not the other. And so quite often we see that happen. They excel in one aspect and then they kind of fall down in the other. Daniel Holder.
This young man has taken wickets in the just completed regional tournament, the 2-day as well as the limited overs. He's able to start the ball outside of the yaw stump and get it to swing back into right-handers. And he can do that with great consistency. He also has a good yorker as well, which is a deadly delivery to right-handers, especially with the new ball.
Yeah, because the left-hander is still coming at a slight angle to the right-hander, especially bowling from over the wicket. So Benjamin. And he struck on the pad, and there is another stifled appeal. So, and again, Benjamin has to be careful because that front pad, that front leg doesn't really go very far. He just kind of stays there and plays from the crease. And it's probably only because that ball might have been touching down outside leg stump that it was no more of a vociferous appeal.
Yeah, I think he turned around looking at the umpire, realizing that it probably pitched outside leg.
And that's well played. He's going to have to hurry. And if he hit, that could have been curtains for him there. That was a brilliant bit of fielding. And the return as well.
The excellent work from mid-off. Charging in. And how close was this? I think he would have been in a lot of trouble. He took off late as well.
Yeah, and certainly.
Well, he also jumped over the crease. Hopefully, perhaps he didn't touch down. We don't know. But you don't want to be doing that unless you touch down first.
And is that Leonardo Julian who is fielding? there.
Yes, I think you're right. He doesn't have the gloves on tonight.
It was Julian who was feeling that mid-off there.
Yeah, it looks like... Is it Baliram with the gloves?
Yep. Again, very well bowled, but played nicely played also. Just taking pace off, and not trying to go big too early.
Another addition to the team there, Zachary Basanta comes into the line. We just saw a holder just skid with his front leg through the crease. So him just trying to scuff up the area. We did have a bit of a light drizzle, but it was for a prolonged period, just about 20 minutes or so. And the covers were put back onto the pitch. And it might just be a little bit damp in the outfield.
And I think he got fooled with that one. That one gone for 4 runs. He was trying to turn that on the onside, and it flew past slip.
That one, we'll have to have a look at this. It was wide of the first slip, who is sitting pretty deep. And it went past him. There is a fine leg and a deep backward square on the boundary. Those are the two fielders out in the deep. Once it went past the first slip, seemed to go under him or perhaps past him before he put the dive out.
Yeah, he probably was fooled by the action of the batsman, because the batsman was shaping to play on the onside. And that's why when you're at slip, you don't really follow the batsman. You follow the blade of the bat to wherever. Once the ball hits the blade of the bat, that's your trigger. Whether to move or not to move. Turned away uppishly, and they might get a couple here if they hurry.
There's the man Zach out at deep backward square doing the fielding. So they set the two fielders out in the deep fine leg and backward square on the boundary, perhaps for that ball to come into the right-hander. And if he just strays in line or gets too much movement or starts it too much on middle and leg, there is some protection out there in the deep. So they are encouraging him to pitch it up and try and get the ball to swing in the air. And at the same time, for the natural delivery that goes across the right-hander, first slip in Govaya is in place.
Again, good line, good length. And once he stays away from the pads, he will be okay. The end of the over 9 without loss after 2.
Blue water's posse identified. Somebody pass blue water. Somebody bring blue water. Somebody get blue water. And you ready now. When you feeling hard, take a blue water spray. Take a blue water spray. In your school or home, take a blue water spray. When the bus run out, take a blue water spray. Party posse water. Working posse water. The school children they water. Blue water spray. The fitness posse water. The office posse water.
After the 2 overs, so not a blazing start, but they did get a boundary in the previous over. And I'm sure they'll want to try to pick it up as they go along. In fact, that's the mode of the power play. You try to get as many runs as you possibly can, but you also have to be mindful what the bowling team offers you. You can't just go helter-skelter sometimes and just try to manufacture runs. If they're not there, we have a little delay.
Speaking of manufacturing runs, Ruskin, TKR's victory last night, CPL finals. Congratulations to the Trinidad and Tobago outfit.
From around the wicket this time, and that is going to run away as well down to the boundary. Did he get a little tickle on that? No, leg buys, that's what it was.
And that's an example of the pace on the ball from Govaya. Does have those variations. He's looking to not give the batsman room, not give Joya room. And I'm not quite sure there wasn't some bat on that, Ruskin.
Well, the umpire was convinced it was only pad. This time he could be out. It's going straight up in the air, and he's dropped it. Well.
Well,
He
it's not
seemed to have it covered, and then he didn't.
jokingly, the manager, Nigel Patrick, better known as Dio, was speaking to him before the start of the game. They were doing catching drills, and he was telling him, you already put one down, and he was boasting to the manager that was taking catches in the practice session. He's put another one down here.
Stefan Bassoon, the guilty party here, he seemed to have it. He was settled under it. Leonardo Julian was getting very close to him. He almost got the rebound, but it just went away from Julian. Else it might have just lobbed straight into his lap. But he survives.
Didn't seem to have any give in the hands. It was just hard hands. So once the ball hit the hand, there was no cushion. It just sprung out.
So Benjamin now. And it's a stifled appeal, not out, says the umpire. Again, trying to go with the long ball. It looked like a late decision on his part.
And also he's picking up the ball afterward. You want to make sure that the ball is dead, or at least ask permission to pick the ball up with your hand, the batsman.
Again, they're going to have to hurry. And the return not tidied up completely there by the wicketkeeper.
But he took the glove off as well, risking for a guy that's going to be
Randy Baldwin.
rifling the throw. It's not the time I think you want to be taking the glove off.
So here's the matchup again. Will and George Joyo and Govaya. The last time he was dropped. Let's see if Govaya can get his revenge here now. And this is a loud appeal, and he's gone. Well, it took a little while, but finally, Govaya has his man, and George has to go for two. It's 15 for one now.
Yeah, and he's not happy with the decision, the captain of Shannon Sports. We'll have a look at it again. It's an example of the in-drift. And did that strike him outside the off stump? And have a close look at this one here. Steps across. Did it come back enough to hit him in line?
Well, that's the thing. The umpire probably judged that he had covered all the stumps, and then he was trying to bring the pad back inside. So in a lot of ways, he probably made up the umpire's mind for him, because just that inward movement of the pad made it covered the stump as well.
He'll have a long walk back into the dressing room, and no doubt he'll want to pull footage of it, but you're quite right. He was dragging the leg back, straightening the back leg, and definitely the ball was in drifting and was heading toward the stump. So the question umpire Ryan John would have to ask himself is, was it struck in line? And which he was convinced in the affirmative. And the captain has to go. The first wicket falls in the third over. Young Joshua Davis coming in one down.
Yeah, it's a type of a trick that catchers use in baseball. When they catch the ball, just to try to con the umpire, they kind of pull it back over the plate. So even if it's outside, or every time, it's just a habit that they practice. So he was doing it with the pad, bring the pad back inside and try to do it. Unfortunately, he missed the ball and was struck on the pad. Here's another appeal. This could be very close indeed. Not out, says the umpire. Govaya is probably questioning, or did it turn too much or what? But the umpire says not out, and Govaya can't believe it. 15 for one now at the end of three.
And these are two players that know each other very well, and a lot of turn on it this time. And even though he might have been struck in line, it could have been spinning all the way past the leg stump. Govaya wasn't convinced, and he was astonished, looking around, asking the umpire for a second time. He's asking there if you could lip read. Was it doing too much? And all the players around are all smiles, but there was a lot of turn on offer there with that delivery.
I suppose that is the equivalent of a review right there. And that was very close indeed. And well, the umpire was, well, it might have been that he might have been struck outside the off stump. That might be the only thing that saved him there. Height was not an issue.
Yeah, you know, Reskin, you're right. If the umpires have more than one question in their mind, it creates doubt for them, and then you have to say he's made the right decision if there's doubt in the mind of the umpire.
And again, the striking the pads rather frequently so far in this innings. And,
changes up, Ruskin goes round the wicket, and we've seen him do this in the regional tournament for the under-19s. He starts over the wicket and then changes just for a couple overs, sometimes even just a couple deliveries, and goes round the wicket just to change it up, to get the ball to come back into the right-hander.
and that's well played. Could get a boundary here, and he will get a boundary. And was trying to catch up with it, but it just kept going away from him.
It's the second boundary of the innings here, and they'll need more of these because they're under a little bit of pressure here, losing a first wicket early, and especially with the likes of Daniel Holder and Mikel Govaya operating, you want to take any opportunity to put away bad balls. You're not going to get too many of them from this pair.
Yeah, it was it had enough pace on it that even the man at long on couldn't get across in time, or the widest mid on probably. Had a bit of a chase there. And again, and he's going to have to hurry, but this time no question of the ball going past.
Yeah, that's the man 7+2 on his back. We'll have to get some more information with regards to the interpretation of the number on his back, Joshua Clark.
So 7 and 2 is 9, eh? So maybe somebody else had 9.
Well, the number 7 is the captain, Ken Roy Williams. You're not going to get that number away from the captain. Maybe he gives himself a ranking now 9 out of 10. He's dropping all the way out the long on boundary. He's a little bit in between long on and where cow corner would be. But there's no mid on, so we'll have to call it a wide long on.
And again, he's striking him on the pad. So again, the bowlers have had a real love affair with the pads in this inning so far. They've struck it on a number of occasions. In fact, all of the batsmen have had to endure some anxious moments after being struck on the pad.
He has a bit of a target, bright red pads, the Trinidad and Tobago logo down at the ankles. He's aiming for exactly that, and again he's back over the wicket.
This time Davis finding the bat as opposed to the pad, and keeping him out. So good bowling so far with this pair. They haven't allowed the opponents to get away just yet. We're coming to the end of over number 4. It's 20 for 1. So just about 5 runs and over, which is not bad going.
It'll be interesting to see how long he keeps this opening pair of bowlers on, Captain Williams.
And you could just see him just missing his run up a little bit. And this is almost gifting them a run there, Julian, trying to run out somebody when nothing is there. The end of over number 4, 20 for 1.
Truth be told, here at GMMB, love is the currency. And let's show you how we are able to transfer that energy into real conversations.
It seems to me there's a power in listening. It seems like that is a part of the mandate.
Of course. We need to listen to our clients. We need to hear what they need. We need to hear that they are satisfied, they are loved, they are feeling that GMMB culture.
GMMB.
It's banking for real.
So Joshua Davis yet to get off the mark. Nigel Benjamin, the one carrying the bulk of the scoring so far with 13 from 16. And he's on strike as Govaya will continue, Mikel Govaya, in his 3rd over now. And greeted with the full face of the bat.
He's looking toward deep mid-wicket. There's a man on the boundary there. Nigel Benjamin is looking for areas that he can try to score, where he can possibly take a bit of a risk and get away with it. Man is out there at deep mid-wicket.
And he's going this time, and there's a man out there, but he could only watch it as it sails over his head. And KFC maximum, the first for the innings.
Yeah, he was just measuring up the distance to the boundary, and the man out there at deep mid-wicket. And he was waiting for the delivery where he could go across and tug it into the onside. And it cleared the man. It was high in the air. And just enough to go over the head of Alexander, who's right back on that mid-wicket boundary. The other fielder is out at long off. Those are the two fielders in the deep for Govaya.
And again, another good delivery. Just changing it up a little bit. Not as much spin being imparted. Slightly quicker as well.
Yes, good batting here from Benjamin. He's already gotten the maximum in the over. He's just looking to rotate, not looking to lose a wicket here. He's already taken a bit of a risk, and he succeeded with it.
And a full toss, and he's going caught. Really a gift here. It's a full toss that he just easily played it comfortably into the hands of the man at mid-off, and he has to go for 19 now, and well, there are some problems here.
It's a perfect example of good balls sometimes don't get you the wickets, but it's that man Franklin Roos taking the catch there. A full toss, and he put it straight toward Franklin. He didn't have to move much, and not much power in the shot either, and accepts the catch quite gleefully. They lose their second wicket in the power play just after he already struck a boundary off a good length delivery and gifted a full toss and couldn't put it away.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations here where you really think you could put that anywhere, but anywhere is also in the fielder's hands. Unfortunately for him, that's exactly what he did on that occasion there. So Rishan Guevara is making his way out into the middle.
Yeah, all spinners would tell you that full tosses can take wickets, and even bad deliveries can get wickets, particularly for leg spinners, because what you might think is a bad delivery or a short ball, what we call a long hop or a full toss, they can get it to dip, there's turn on it, it can do different things off the pitch. But full tosses like that, you really have to put it away, particularly in the power play.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. Now we've seen that already. In fact, when we were here, last night or 2 nights ago, the same thing happened. You got a full toss and he hit it almost in the same general location and got out caught. So the full toss has a place in the game. You don't want to bowl too many.
Well, it seemed to be a strategy, Ruskins. How many full tosses did we see in that game?
Far too many, to be honest with you, because they just seem, maybe the ball is slipping, and you always have to factor that in with the dew and the wet conditions. Plus the players are perspiring out there because it is hot. And so there are a number of factors. Sometimes you try to grip the ball too tightly, it comes out wrong. But immediately getting some runs here, it should run into the boundary, it does, and it's wide. So
you make mention of bad deliveries here. We've seen one that got a wicket. This one, however, is down the leg side, so already gone for a 6 in the over, and it's going to cost him 5 runs here now on the additional delivery.
Yeah, Randy Baliram didn't get around to it, didn't get a touch on it. Just seemed to elude his grasp.
He's certainly in the game, isn't he, early on? Already put a catch down, no chasing one in vain.
Yeah, Govaya must be disappointed with that because it just cost the team runs when he has a new batsman at the crease. So the first ball you want to bowl to him is not a wide delivery down the leg side. That's much better. That kept a little bit low as well, but again, that quick action that he just kind of rushes it on. You could see the wicketkeeper talking or just gesticulating that it skidded and stayed down, didn't come up as much. And again, that's the end of his third over. 5 completed. Now it's 31 for 2.
I've played against him a couple times, Mikel Govaya, in his younger days. And we really thought he was a medium pacer because he had a longish run. And he was trying to convince us that he was bowling spin. But the pace as which he was delivering the balls, you had to think he was a medium pacer. And because he was delivering at that kind of a pace, he didn't get much spin on the ball, particularly when he was using the white ball. And he's gotten a little bit more variations, much more experience, obviously. Has a CPL title under his belt. Mikel Govaya. 1 over now to come in the power play. Are we going to see young Holder bowl another over? It looks like it's going to be a bowling change. The man 7+2 has the ball in his hand, Joshua Clark.
So it's going to be that change, the first change of the innings.
Not too familiar with the young man, but I was told, I was well informed, that at the youth level he was quite the fast bowler. So both batsmen out there in the middle yet to score. And Davis, I believe he didn't get off the mark in the last game he played. He picked up 2 wickets for 19 in that game against Savannah Boys.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how he navigates here. Davis, obviously we've seen how capable he is. Can he pull his team around here? 31 on the board, and the last over of the power play to come.
He did have a 32 against Bugmalatris, so he's looking to do well again here.
And they will take that.
It's the first opportunity that I am having to have a look at him. He already looks a little bit sharp with his first delivery.
And I'd have to say it's a loosener for him. But when you're bowling in the power play, you don't have the luxury too much of a loosener. Batsmen are hunting runs. And again, a good decision in the end, because I'm not sure if Guevara would have made it to the striker's end. Good reaction from Clark as it was played. He was the first one moving, and Davis was sent back.
He was out there warming up very early with the team from around 4:45, doing their drills. And already looking sharp. He's adjusted the line, made the correction. He has hold that deep square leg, and he has a third man on the boundary, the 2 fielders in the deep for the final over of power play. Interesting that he gets the over as well.
Played square, and now a chance, and almost overrunning, almost overcommitting there, and then he was sent back now. So first it was Davis that was sent back, and now Guevara had to scamper back into his crease.
And no guesses who the man is doing the fielding. The ball is certainly following him around early on. It's that man Bisoon. Just a bit too high with the throw, but he was charging down the wicket. Guevara.
I think they probably realized that they need to keep rotating strike. And even now he has to hurry, Davis. And they're going back for a second run. And the 2 fielders getting each other's way. And it's going to go to the boundary. So 5 runs completed. Again, you could see Leonardo Julian attempting the run out. But there were 2 fielders there, and they just got the angles wrong. They both got in each other's way. Now there is the single. Julian picks up, has an underarm return at the stumps, just missing. And but it's what happened after that that was the story. The 2 fielders getting in each other's way, and the ball was never touched out in the deep, even though there were two men out there, and neither one could intercept the ball.
Yeah, but Santa was coming around from short fine, like to back up the throw from Julian. But Holder was out there in the deep, and the two almost colliding, and sliding across was Basanta, and Holder had to leap over him so that they wouldn't collide, and none of them could get anything onto the ball, and it just trickled into the boundary. So Davis would be quite happy with that, but Clark certainly won't be amused.
So 38 now for 2. And that's played nicely, but Holder.
So Glenora here, almost at 6s and 7s. They're not quite sure what is going on. Holder didn't come in for the catch. And Clark is almost at the striker's end, pleading with him to come in. He chose to sit back and take it on the bounce. Also didn't recognize that there was an opportunity to get the throw at the non-striker's end. And it could have been a pretty simple run out. Josh was kind of slow to get down to that end because he was on the back foot after he played the shot, and he was looking to see if he would be out court. But nobody came to back up at the non-striker's end to collect the throw. So it's all happening in this over.
Yep. And it was a good throw. It was in the general area of the stumps. If only somebody was there to do the needful. And that would have been Julian or somebody else on the offside. And again, some yes, no, and it ended up being no.
So Guevara is clearly one that is looking for quick runs and wants to get singles and turn one into twos, and he's pushing Davis here. But I'm not quite sure that Davis wants to take that type of a risk. It was played straight to the fielder. We saw it in the last delivery as well that went for 6 because they ran 2 before the ball trickled into the boundary. So it was excellent running between the pair. But Joss is a little bit hesitant with some of the calls from Guevara.
Yeah, especially with Govaya closing in on the offside. He has a pretty good arm. And that's well played again. But they can't pierce that offside field. Not on this occasion. As that ends the over. And 6 overs completed now. The power play is in the books. And at the end of 6, 39 for 2.
Here at GMMB, love is the currency. And let's show you how we are able to transfer that energy into real conversations. How important is it for the client to be recognized and not to feel invisible, to feel like just a number?
At GMMB, everybody is seen as an ideal, important client. And we give everybody the same level of respect, the same level of acknowledgement, and we deal with you to suit based on that vision of love.
GMMB.
It's banking for real.
Welcome you back here. 6 overs completed so far. And the game's just starting to pick up here a little bit, especially from the Shannon Sports standpoint. PC control Shannon Sports. So they really need to get a move on here now. They've only had 39 on the board after 6. But they won't be too disappointed. But that could have been worse. And I think that's kind of like the approach that they have to take.
Yeah, they were gifted 6 runs in that last over of Clark with some overthrow and some bit of misfielding, miscommunication. The first wicket falling, Whelan George Joyer for 15 in the 3rd over, and then Nigel Benjamin with the score on 26 in the 5th over. So losing a couple wickets just pegged them back a bit. Just as Benjamin had struck a 6 as well, he lost his wicket.
Well, he miscued a full toss.
Yeah, no fault but his own.
And paid the price. So Kenway Williams is going to pick up the attack here now, trying to limit the Shannon batting as much as he possibly can here. And probably pick up a few wickets along the way. That's well played. Now they could squeeze a second here, but they're going to have to hurry. But the return is not a good one.
It's very risky running there, and it's being prompted by Rashawn Guevara because he's looking to run for everything, and he's looking to come back for 2s as well challenging the field, and they're going to have to be in the wide away club because they're going to pressure them every single time. Just Josh, just looking at the throw as well to see how much of a risk it is to come back for that second, to know how faster does he have to run to make his ground.
It is then the return needed to be a much flatter return. The wicketkeeper never had a chance of effecting a run out. They're having to jump. And again, Davis on the back foot a lot. Trying to see how much spin is being imparted on the ball.
He's a good player of spin.
And again, going right up to him is Williams.
And he's a very clever bowler, Kenroy Williams. Can put additional revolutions on the ball to get much more turn. Can push it through, offer some flight.
And again, this is good running this time. And very well played by Davis. Again, didn't try to hit it, just pushed it. And you could see Williams there with hands on hips, probably wondering how it is they can squeeze a single there when the ball just ran a couple meters from the square.
With all of the running that we've seen going out there, Guevara is still yet to get off the mark.
Well, he gets an opportunity now. And can he take advantage of that? Joshua Davis is up to 10. That's well played. And what a way to get off the mark. It took him a while, but despite the best efforts of Govaya there, that's 4 good-looking runs to Guevara.
Yeah, very interesting, Ruskin. He wasn't out on the boundary edge. He was about 10 yards inside. And had he had the idea, you could see he's not on the boundary line, just where the old impression where the rope used to be for the further pitch, but it's been pushed back. And had he been on the boundary, he would have had more time to get around. He was hit with some power from Rashawn.
Well, if you're on the boundary, you don't need to be in between. And again, trying to repeat it.
Yeah, he still remains in that position. Not all the way out on the boundary. Yeah, he's going all the way back. No, he's going for his bottle of water on the boundary.
It's the end of the over. So 46 for the loss of 2 now after 7.
In fact, he comes off the field. Mikel Govaya. Substitute Richard Sukram comes on in his place.
So 5 wide, 6x6.
Well, it'll go down as 6 on Joshua Davis in the scorebook. But there was 2 that they ran and the overthrow that went for 4. But for sure, Shannon Sports Club would gladly accept the additional runs because they would certainly need it. It's their final game in the group. So they'll want to finish off on a high. And as we mentioned, Ruskin, they do have the leading run scorer in Ikwe Craig and the leading wicket taker. But the other players, they need some support.
So
taking a little bit to set the field as the power play is over.
Clark again, and once more Williams is approaching there quickly from that sort of backward point position, and that seems to be an area that Davis likes to play because he's playing the ball very close to his body, so he's just dropping it and running it off square on the offside and trying to steal a quick single inside of there. Guevara is prompting him to take quick singles, but then every so often he's sending him back, which cannot be a good thing because he's not quite sure when he's going to come or when he's going to say no. That's better. And he's going to get 4 runs for it. Very well played. A little more power applied there and picks up a boundary.
And Guevara has to be careful as well. The youngster Davis, he likes to build an innings. And they've already lost 2 quick wickets. Now he's talking to him again. He's all the way down to the striker's end, having a conversation with Davis. But this is what Davis can do. He likes to bat and play each ball on its merit, and he can be aggressive when the situation arises. Certainly can't put away bad balls, but you have to allow him a little bit to build his innings. Now, Kenroy Williams, on the other hand, they're looking to take quick singles, Ruskin. You could just bring that point in a little bit, push the extra cover a couple steps closer in to deny them that single.
Williams himself is at that backward point, that short third man position, or backward point position rather. And so he will have to be on his P's and Q's there. And Davis would feel that he missed out on that occasion. It was a short ball that he was pulling. And I'm not quite sure what Clark is looking at, but he doesn't seem comfortable with where his front foot is landing.
And we saw Holder as well in the first over. His left leg, the left-hander, his right leg rather, slipped at the popping crease. But it was from, with him, over the wicket. This is Clark over the wicket as well, but right-handed.
And there's that shot again, just pushing it. And Davis would have to be aware that you don't want to put it too square. You could just run it past the wicketkeeper, and you'll still get a single, if not more, because depending on how
he just wants to
straight you play it. Yep.
Just break the wrist a little bit, open the face, a touch, to guide it down to third, particularly when it's not that wide, so that you get that rotation of strike that Rashawn is looking for, the non-strikers then.
And Clark again, that's a good delivery. And just coming off the seam there, a little bit of movement in towards the right-hander.
And coming off the inner portion of the bat as a result. And so many times, Ruskin, you middle it and you can't get a run. But a little bit of a miscue or a false shot and you get the run.
Yeah, and that's the bowlers is doing, not so much the batsman. And so the bowler is punished for bowling a good ball. It happens all the time.
Now Rashawn here, one delivery to come in the over, and I'm sure he'll be eager to look for a single to get the strike at the start of the other over, unless he gets a ball that he can put away.
And really in two minds there, whether to go forward or come back. He did neither, and was beaten outside the off stump. At the end of 8, it's 51 for 2.
Having that family lime at home, that cookout by the river, or you're just feeling to bubble up pot? Then Cans Poultry and Meats Limited has got you covered for all your meaty needs. Whether it be chicken, beef, steak, lamb, or even seafood, check Cans. They even have seasoning and condiments to complement your dish. So if you're looking for top quality meats at prices that wouldn't bust your pocket, then come on in to Cans today at any of their convenient locations.
So 51 for 2. This is where we are now after 8 overs. So far, so good. And of course, Kovaya is back out there, but he's back on the fence, so he's back on the ropes now. He was in for that line you're seeing just ahead of him there earlier. That would have been the ropes probably when the under 17 ladies were playing. That they would have used that boundary, that marker. But Williams. And Davis again is going on the back foot, but it beats the keeper again. And that is going to run very close to the boundary. And does he stop it just before it goes in? And that might be Rouse just stopping it, Basanta rather, just pulling it back.
And there's an appeal here.
Yep. The umpire doesn't seem as if he is too interested.
They're appealing for a run out of the non-striker's end. And it's that man, you guessed it, Guevara, who's always looking for the additional run. And umpire Ryan John is having none of it. He said the ball was dead. And at times, umpires need to be very, very firm, because we've seen in recent times, the last couple of years or so, a number of people, not just in the international circuit, but T20 franchises as well, being run out with similar circumstances.
Down the wicket he goes, and he's going to get away with that one because it's gone for KFC maximum over extra cover.
And this is what I was speaking about. You have to allow Davis to build his innings. He's going to get into it, and he can't be aggressive, and he's going, the right shot, backing away, giving himself some room and going inside out with the spin over extra cover. And this is the ability of the young man. But you can't pressure him too much. He's going to get going. And he wants to settle himself, play himself in. And once he's on top, he can really give you the type of total you're looking for. He's on to 21 already.
And 21 from 19 deliveries. 59 now for 2. Williams will have to reassess here. And already 8 runs from this over. And you're looking for more. Might get another easy single.
And have a look at Govaya here. He knows what he's doing. He's just a little bit slow, and he's just toying with Rashawn to tempt him to look for that second run. But he has a very powerful arm. Those who have seen him play in the past, he can rifle it in. And he did exactly that back to the wicket keeper. And he's very accurate as well with his throws, Govaya.
So 60 on the board now. So this is proven to be a nice little partnership here building. And Williams just kind of slowing it down a little bit, trying to make sure that the fielders are in the right places. Now he's gone with that. A 3 on the boundary on the onside, 2 on the offside. And he wants a single, but it's not there. Julian attacks it beautifully and forces Davis to put the brakes on.
And you mentioned the partnership, Ruskin. 34 off of 24 balls. And Davis has 22 off of 16 deliveries in this partnership.
Now they're going to have to hurry. He's going to have to do it again. But this time, Julian tries to flick it back to the keeper. And but lost a little bit of direction there. Although he got to the ball quickly, he couldn't effect a run out.
And Davis was quick to respond for that single as well, as Rashawn was already advancing into the shot and was out of his crease, so he could have gotten there. But interesting that Julian chose to throw at the wicketkeeper's end, because he would have been heading toward in the direction of the striker's end, so he could have got a lot of pace on the throw in that direction.
And again, every time you play it in that gap there, because there's no one there, only the bowler, that's really the bowler having to cover that area there after bowling, after delivering the ball. The end of the over, 62 for 2 now after 9.
And I'll put that down to Joshua Davis and the 6 he hit over extra cover. But it was for Rashawn that he moved the man from mid-wicket that was cutting the singles out and pushed him back on the boundary when Rashawn hasn't shown really that he was looking to hit anything in that direction at all, against the spin as well of the leg spinner, the captain Kenroy Williams. It was an interesting feeling change, and had he stayed inside the ring, he could have certainly prevented that single. But the batsman looking to capitalize on the fact that he's made that field change, and it's good batting.
Yeah, a lot of captains utilize a field like that, which is kind of head scratching sometimes, but they'd much rather give up 1 than 4. I suppose that's the logic behind the thinking there. So they put the square leg, the deep mid wicket, and the long on, all on the boundary, and there's nobody in front of the wicket keeper or the umpire at that square leg inside the circle. So it's a field that we've seen quite often, but sometimes batsmen can capitalize on it and utilize it to their advantage. And again, Davis not middling that one. Immediately see him checking the bottom of the bat.
Yeah, I think he's playing it a bit late with the pace of Clark. So the bat didn't come down in time and hit the toe end of the bat. He was shaping up to push it down to Williams at long off. So the umpire, Arjuna Sidal, as well at the start of the over, hustling up the players to get into position, which is good, Ruskin, because our games have gone beyond 4 hours for these T20 matches.
It shouldn't. And this time Davis is going to get some bat on to ball properly.
And that's a shot he was looking to hit in the previous delivery. But made a strange sound off the bat, so perhaps there is something at the toe end of the bat. So it sounded rather clunky as opposed to that nice ping you hear when it comes off the middle.
And I was just thinking, I wonder what the conversations are when Joshua goes to his uncle's and try to have a little discussion or so with them, or his more famous relatives. And so I can imagine he goes and he say, Uncle Charlie, how do I do this, and this? Or he say, Uncle Brian, what is the key to doing this? Now, he might get two different answers or two different approaches. Or even his dad, and say, well, how do you do this? There's a delivery that he just, again, no movement. He's still in that stand there, and just threw the bat at it.
Well, he might not be the only one asking questions in the family. Of course, his dad, Gregory Davis, is part of our commentary team, Cricket 360. Good night to you, Mr. Gregory Davis. But his sister as well, Jessica Davis, is on the Trinidad and Tobago under-19 team that played earlier on in the regional under-19 tournament. So it's definitely in the blood. But I think Joshua might just be going to ask them, I need a new bat. Or can I get a new pair of shoes?
Yeah. I can imagine Brian would say, look, I have a pair from 1964, see if we could use that. It's another good delivery. But this time he is able to open the face nicely.
But the young lad does have a bat sponsor. So it's not a bad score, Ruskin. 64 for 2, all things considered, with one delivery to come before the break at 10 overs. So the way the tournament has gone for them, but certainly we want to see Ikwe Craig coming in at some point. I don't want to see that we want to see a batsman dismissed, but you think that you want to get him there earlier than later.
Well, I would think he's next in line, so to speak. So what a way to end the 10th over and take the players to the break. 64 for 2 now after 10. We're at the midway point, and the players will get some refreshments.
Here at GMMB, love is the currency. And let's show you how we are able to transfer that energy into real conversations. How important is it for the client to be recognized and not to feel invisible, to feel like just a number?
At GMMB, everybody is seen as an ideal, important client. And we give everybody the same level of respect, the same level of acknowledgement, and we deal with you to suit based on that vision of love.
GMMB.
It's banking for real.
Blue Water's posse identified. Somebody pass blue water. Somebody bring blue water. Somebody get blue water. And we ready now. When you're feeling hard, take a blue water spray. Take a blue water spray. In your school or house, take a blue water spray. When the bus run out, take a blue water spray. Party posse water. Working posse water. School children they water. Blue water spray. Fitness posse water. The office posse water.
When you want to get the inside information, you go to the real source, the team members. Let's hear what they're saying.
One of the joys that I have is calling someone and telling them you have that approval.
We want to know our clients. The attention that we give the client feels that warmth.
We help you, the customer.
We are here to help you, achieve your dreams.
Clients succeeding, it has helped the bank to succeed.
Lots of great information here. And yes, GMMB is a real bank.
Blue Water's posse identified. Somebody pass blue water. Somebody bring blue water. Somebody get blue water. And we ready now. When you're feeling hard, take a blue water spray. Take a blue water spray. In your school or house, take a blue water spray. When the bus run out, take a blue water spray. Party posse water. Working posse water. School children they water. Blue water spray. Fitness posse water. The office posse water.
This one? No. Hey, look, KFC has an incredible promo.
I already had that for lunch.
Crunch whoever isn't on board. Order KFC's Mega 6 Bucket for only $115. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Here at GMMB, love is the currency. And let's show you how we are able to transfer that energy into real conversations. What about the connection with you and your team members?
It's top priority for me to have that clear understanding of who my team members are and building connections with them to ensure that they carry out the vision of what we are trying to achieve as a team. realizing opportunities for both the clients and ourselves.
JMMB.
It's banking for real.
Having that family lime at home, that cookout by the river, or you're just feeling to bubble up pot? Then Cans Poultry and Meats Limited has got you covered for all your meaty needs. Whether it be chicken, beef, steak, lamb, or even seafood, check Cans. They even have seasoning and condiments to complement your dish. So if you're looking for top quality meats at prices that wouldn't bust your pocket, then come on in to Cans today at any of their convenient locations.
Truth be told, here at GMMB, love is the currency. And let's show you how we are able to transfer that energy into real conversations.
It seems to me there's a power in listening. It seems like that is a part of the mandate.
Of course. We need to listen to our clients. We need to hear what they need. We need to hear that they are satisfied, they are loved, they are feeling that JMMB culture.
JMMB.
It's banking for real.
So to welcome you back here, it's still, we're 10 overs in to this contest, and so we're at the halfway stage. The players have had their blue waters and whatever other refreshments are available to them. And of course now, this is where things get very interesting as they try to, after all the discussions, try to show what the new plans are going forward. Billy?
Yeah, it's not a bad start, the first 10 overs. And Davis on 24. And Rashawn, really have to say, he's trying to get going. He's looking to rotate the strike. But there's only been 4 fours and 1 6 in the innings so far with 13 extras in this total. So they're really going to have to make a good push at the back end of the innings there. And with Ikri Craig to come, I think they want to get close to 150.
And that's a funny kind of swing. He was swinging really almost like trying to hit it behind square as opposed to trying to hit it to square leg.
Like he was trying to get all 100 runs off of one delivery with that attempt and that swinging down the leg side.
Actually, I think there wasn't a second 6. Joshua hit a 6 over extra cover here. And the one Benjamin hit over, yeah, there might be a second 6.
Yeah, 2 6s and 4 4s, you're right, Rusty.
Benjamin hit one over square leg. Again, not trying to force the ball too much, but trying to just play on merit. I think that's probably the message that was sent. Don't get reckless. But maybe just try to up the scoring tempo a little bit.
Williams is into his 3rd over. He might just bowl out all 4 on the trot, the captain.
And again, and it's once you start there, you really don't give the wicketkeeper much to work with, and it's only his own brilliance might bail you out.
Yeah, and it's not Leonardo Julian behind the stumps.
Randy
Baliram. A difficult one down the leg side. Was pushed through with some pace as well. Perhaps looking to start it middle and leg and get it to spin across the right hander, but that one certainly didn't come back at all.
Yeah, and you kind of blame Shane Warne for what we see now. A lot of these spinners, they adopt the Shane Warne approach. They walk first and then they just kind of wheel themselves into action. And that's well played.
The acrobatics of Daniel Holder at extra cover. He was nowhere near it with the enthusiasm of the youngster. He's all smiles. He was out there very early as well, doing all sorts of warm-up drills at 4:45.
Well, he probably wants to make a good impression. And Davis is going to get another single here quite nicely. They might push for a second one, but I think they'll wait to see. And this is what you're talking about, Kenroy Williams bowling out, and I think he's, 24 runs now as he's trying to complete his third over, which is not bad returns. So I think if he could add a wicket now, would probably justify him bowling out. And a quicker delivery.
He conceded 1614, but the 5 wides in this over. It's a good comeback delivery.
Yeah, wicketkeeper has to be careful. He's jumping, and when he should just be staying there and receiving the ball. See, again, he's just reacting to what the batsman is doing and not really following the ball as he should be. So he's not gloving the ball very well. End of over number 11, 73 for 2 at the end of it.
Yeah, he wasn't staying down at all, and that one was pitched up. But he was already on the way up before the ball landed. Something he'll have to work on. Something the manager, Nigel Patrick, keep an eye on.
Yeah, because, I mean, even when you, I suppose, my brother was a wicket keeper, but I would wicket keep in like wind ball cricket. I would always wicket keep in that regard. Or if I'm playing hard ball and I'm not bowling, then I will just wicket keep at times. Especially if you're playing on a team that nobody wants to wicket keep, then I would just assume the gloves. And there's some basics that you can't get away from. And that's well played again. And no matter what level you play at, you still have to stay down to receive the ball. And you're right, you come up with the ball. You don't come up and then hope to go back down, because that's the most difficult thing to do, is to go back down to get to the ball.
Yeah, I have a great respect for wicket keepers. I tried it and I was miserable at it. Couldn't stay down. The technique to catch the ball is also different. I couldn't master that, so I quickly gave the gloves up.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it. And this could be out, but no, it might actually fall safely. In fact, it didn't carry as far as they would have liked, so it never made its way all the way down to Mason out at third man.
And wicket keepers are also almost always very eccentric characters. We think about the likes of a A.B. de Villiers or a Brendan McCullum, Glenn Phillips, to name a few. And when they're in the outfield, like a Nicholas Puran as well, they take some outstanding catches. Leonardo Julian is in the outfield.
A lot of them are decent cricketers in terms of their out cricket, and they do a pretty decent job in the field because they understand what the requirements are in terms of fielding. Because the same way we ask players to put the long barrier and prevent the ball from going past you in the outfield, wicketkeepers have to do that a lot, even when they're standing back, because sometimes if the ball bounces a second time in front of them, that's kind of like their go-to posture to avoid the ball going past them. So it's not uncommon to see them become good fielders. It's a big swing and a miss here now. Every so often he unleashes one of these and misses everything.
He was concentrating on getting quick singles and turning one into twos from before the 10 over mark. But since they've come out after the drinks break, he's struggling a little bit here, Guevara, and he's now looking for more boundary hitting rather than rotation of strike. And as a result, he's trying to force the issue, but not quite keeping his head steady and eyes on the ball.
And again, he can't get it past the bowler this time. So he's gone into a little bit of a rut here. Not able to, like I say, rotate the strike as readily as before.
And on the other side of the coin, Joshua Davis, he's very much getting into his zone now. He's middling a lot more, particularly off the bowling of Clark when he faced him, because you could tell as well it comes off the bat and traveled quickly to the fielders on the boundary. So he's timing it well now. So you perhaps you're not striking it well. You might just want to think about, again, rotation of strike and allowing Davis to just build on his innings.
Clark looking to finish up here, not for 18. And this one, he's going to get a single. And again, the ball is just bobbled there by Basanta when it should not have been a run. And he was not at short fine leg position. It came to him. All he had to do was stop it cleanly. But he wasn't able to do that. It hit his knee and trickled away from him, and they were able to take the single. So that is the end of the over. And 77 for 2 now after 12.
This one? No. Hey, look, KFC has an incredible promo.
I already had that for lunch.
Crunch whoever isn't on board. Order KFC's Mega 6 Bucket for only $115. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Yes, so I was just looking at Clark's final. So he had ended up with 0 for 19 from his 4 overs, which is not bad at all.
It's quite outstanding as well. Just 1 wide from him. Quite a talent, the young man. And, you know, they got that single off the misfield at the end of the over from Basan. But Kenroy Williams mightn't mind that too much because the man on strike now is just struggling a little bit. Rashawn Guevara, he's on to 9 off of 20 deliveries. So, might not be a bad thing. There's going to be a bowling change here as well. So, Kenroy will not bowl out. And Stefan Bissoon gets the ball now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised he didn't venture to just go through.
Then he had a few dot deliveries. He bowled 1 wide that went down the leg side into the boundary, conceding 5 wides in the over. He makes his way across from mid-wicket now to backward point for the off-spinner into the attack.
And again, he makes a big gesture to come down the wicket at him.
And the irony of this innings from Rashawn, either side of 10 overs. Now he's the one that can't seem to get rotation of the strike. And he's looking to be aggressive.
Well, the off-spinner might be just what the doctor ordered for him.
Yeah, a couple dot deliveries here. More pressure building. Perhaps a little bit self-inflicted. The off-spinner, he could look to work it into the onside. There's a lot of room there, as we mentioned. The mid-wicket is on the boundary. Backward square, long off, long on, and deep cover. Lots of room on the onside.
And this one goes past him, but again, the keeper cannot take it. And I think there might have been a deflection there, so you can't pin that one on the keeper too much. But certainly he was down the wicket again. Came off the pad and then struck the boot of the keeper. Almost hit the off stump on the way through.
So Joshua Davis is on strike now. He's not seen too many deliveries since the drinks break.
And so much easier for him to manipulate the ball into the outfield, into the deep, and get the single. But now it's Guevara who is back on strike now. So the challenge is, can he finally get his timing back? And for some reason, he just seemed to have lost all sense of timing. He cannot find the middle of the bat right now.
Yeah, we saw Davis. He's a very good player of spin. You saw him use the depth of the crease to work the single. But Rashawn wants to advance down the track and go hard at it. And he needs to...
I don't know. No, there's somebody out there with a message and I suppose giving him some water. And you would think that that is part of the discussion. You know, someone of you all have to get on with things here. And they're probably going to say to Guevara, well, you know, just go hard and see how many you get. And see if we could ride your luck a little bit. But if you get out, don't worry about it, you know. But you never know. He might get out, and then you know what happens after a partnership. You lose 2 and 3 quick wickets.
Yeah.
And things change.
But you wanted to get Ikri Quegg out for the middle overs as well, because remember Daniel Holder has 2 overs left, and Govaya has 1. So that is 3 overs against some quality bowling at the back end of the innings.
Yeah, Williams has 1 as well. So 10 from 25 bowls. And Andy Alexander is there, and first up, it would look like a wide, but it might have gotten a brush onto it, might have just gotten a touch onto that one.
They're clearly coming off of something, but it has to be said he missed out, because had he gotten something on it, Basanta is at short fine leg. Either side of him, And you could have been in for a couple of runs at the very least.
And again, and plays this one nicely down behind square. But they'll only get a single. That's good cricket out there again from the young man holder.
He just glided across the outfield, and as he collected it, he just slid across as if he's on ice.
Yeah, got to free up his throwing arm.
He's looking at the bottom of his shoes as well. Again, just wonder how much spikes he has on, because he did slip when he was bowling at the popping crease.
And this one is in the air. Could be out court. It's going to take some catching, and he drops it. Well, well, well. He got everything in position, and Clark put it down.
Yeah, in stark contrast from the fielding we saw from Holder there, who got it cleanly in his hands. Clark was there. He had it covered. It was a good height as well. He's going toward the ball, and through his hands. Just wonder if there's a touch of a wet ball there as well. It can be very difficult, Ruskin, with the dew factor there. It did drizzle before the start of play as well. This white ball can be very difficult to catch if it gets any moisture on it.
Yeah, but again, we always say, once it goes up into the lights, it's always a difficult catch. He bowled him this time, coming right across it. So it took him 28 deliveries for his 11 runs, but eventually he has to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I was Kenroy Williams. Well, my personal opinion, how happy I would be with that dismissal. He clearly was targeting the stumps because he knocked the middle pole out of the ground. I would have been pushing it outside the off stump just to keep him a little bit longer at the crease. And he's trying to tug it in the air across the line. And the end of a very painful innings. Here now, another wicket falls.
He hit the middle stump as well, straight out of the ground. And but the joy of taking that wicket might be tempered by the arrival of the crease, we would imagine, of Ikwe Craig.
Yeah, the man with the red helmet, number 44, leading run scorer in the tournament. 350s to his name as we have a look at that missed opportunity. There from 7+2. Got to it quite well. He was quick to it and tried to take it as high as possible, but he just slipped through his grasp. And Alexander, who might have been disappointed that he didn't get Joshua Davis out, but he got the wicket of Rashawn Guevara. Here's the man, 70 high score, an average of 97, 194 runs to his name in 3 games.
Yeah, he's batted well. He's really been leading from the front with the bat. And at times he hasn't had the support from the rest of the batting cast, but he's shown that he's quite capable of carrying the load. But he's going to have to, 2 things, he's going to have to get hot quickly because he cannot take another 2 or 3 overs to get into stride. And that's where the pressure is sometimes. And he's up against a bowler, Andy Alexander, who is doesn't really give you pace to work with. You have to apply the power.
Ruskin, I think he's going to go from ball 1 here. He's a supremely confident young man. He's been around the circuit for a number of years. Actually played with him when he started about 14 years old as a colt at the Queen's Park Oval.
And immediately they say 2, and they will probably get it. No, they decide against it. Clark did well enough to convince them, to tell them 1 is enough. But it looked like it had 2 in it.
Yeah, 2 former national Trinidad and Tobago youth players out in the middle now. So it's going to be a different approach to the batting here. We might just be in for a bit of exciting cricket now in these last 6 overs and a 1 delivery.
And again, just push and run from Davis. They're going to go for the second. No, they decide against it, and it's a good decision too, because it was Govaya who was closing in, and they opted not to go. 14 completed. Now it's 84 for 3.
Blue Water's posse identified. Somebody pass blue water. Somebody bring blue water. Somebody get blue water. And we ready now. When you're feeling hard, take a blue water spray. Take a blue water spray. In your school or home, take a blue water spray. When the bus run out, take a blue water spray.
look at it here. They haven't really been able to get those skyscrapers going lately. And as a result, from a position, a relatively good position of 64 for 2 after 10, after 14, they just added 20 runs. So they're still going at a 5 and over, and they've lost a wicket in there as well. And this one is gone, just over the head. The fielder was standing there, but it just had enough on it. And KFC maximum for Govaya. And Davis takes it just over the head of the man at that deep mid-wicket position.
Yeah, Joshua Davis there ordering a KFC big meal and delivering with a big one, 6 over the fence of mid-wicket. He took on the man. He never even bothered to run because he knew it was either out or 6.
That's Mason out there. And now Govaya having a word with his fellow spinner, as if to tell him what the approach should be. And,
asking these 3 overs here before Holder and Govaya comes back. It's going to be really critical.
And again, but that's better to just limit them to the 1 run. But we've always said, even if you're not going to get a wicket, just as we tell batsmen, if you're not going to get a boundary, then, you
keep it tight.
Just try and rotate the strike, take a single. Same thing with bowling. If you can't produce a wicket-taking delivery, don't produce a boundary ball. And, so if you could limit it to just the 1 run, then you'll live with that, especially in the limited overs game.
I think Ikwe is going to try to deal in boundaries here. I was batting in a partnership with him a few years ago in the Buggy Hinds ground. He came out to join me and he immediately went from ball 1, smashed 3 sixes straight back.
And there he goes again. That's going, and the fielder was going to his right. That looks like Leonardo Julian was going to his left, and the ball ended up going to his right. And it actually did it go all the way? Yes, it did. But it passed him to his right, and it passed him just inside the field end. If he was standing on the boundary, he probably would have taken a catch about in the middle of his stomach, really. And so he really misjudged that one. It went for another KFC maximum, or did it just go for 4? I think they make sense of 4, but I felt it went for a 6 because it went over the rope. But it's situated as 4. Down the wicket he comes again. This time it's bigger. This time it's going. And no question about this one. Another one from Ikwe Craig. Another KFC maximum.
And this is what this young man is capable of. I told you I was at the non-strikers end when he came out to join me in that partnership. And this is exactly what he did. Smacked 3 sixes straight back over the bowler's head. He's looking to do that here again. He's going to be dealing in 6s. And I initially thought it went for 6 as well, Ruskin, the first one. Totally misjudged, it has to be said, by Leonardo Julian on the boundary. And he was in conversation with Govaya, trying to explain or perhaps inquire as to what went wrong.
Yeah, because he's normally a good catcher, so he's totally misjudged that one. And it might have just been dropped there by the keeper again. We're talking about receiving the ball, and you don't want to look at the man he's dropped there, Craig, an 11 from 4, and that would have been the wicket that they would have been looking for at this stage.
He's all smiles there as he walks back toward the umpire, recognizing it was a big opportunity. After being smacked for 3 boundaries in the over, it would have been a good comeback. The DJ just miscalculates the timing. He's getting into a rhythm here, the DJ as well as Ikwe Craig.
He's trying to play that very late. And that's a good drive. That too could travel close to the boundary. And again, Govaya doing very well. I didn't try to field it cleanly the first time. And then the return eludes the keeper, and it also, they're going back for the 4th run now. So 4 runs inside the park.
There's going to be a lot of fireworks with this pair out there in the middle, these two youngsters. They're going to force everything. And that rifle throw coming in from Govaya after good work on the boundary edge at the wicket keeper. And it's a little bit of duo there in the outfield. And you're going to have to be careful with balls landing in front of the wicket keepers. It just scooted past the keeper. Couldn't get a hand onto it. Neither could Basant as he was backing up. It just ricocheted off of him. And it was a difficult stop for him to make as well.
105 for 3 now after 15.
Yeah, so the 100 coming up in that over. And Ikri Quegg continuing on in his good form. And one opportunity to Leonardo Julian, who overran it at long on. And it went past him. He was running to his left and it went past him on his right. And those antics of eccentric wicket keepers on the boundary edge, Leonardo Julian. And then a dab shot. He was trying to cut it past third man for a boundary. Got a bit of an inside edge. And Baliram couldn't take it. And he lives to fight another day. And he gets 4 runs via running.
Mm-hmm.
And the Alexander to continue on. 105 for 3. Davis on strike. He's looking to go big as well. A man is out there. It is Julian. This time he makes no mistake. And Davis is going to have to go, trying to go big, trying to increase the scoring rate, the run rate, which stands at 7. But he'll have to go with his score on 38 off of 33 deliveries.
Yeah, it was a good catch. This time he waited on it. He didn't move. It came right to him. And all he had to do was accept it as it came down. And I took it the Australian style with the fingers pointing up and completed it. Gone for 38. A good innings from Joshua Davis. 38 from 34. And 1 4 and 3 sixes in there.
Yeah, not a bad knock indeed from the youngster. He'll get his turn with the ball to bowl some off spin when it's their turn to bowl. And a big wicket here for Glenora, trying to peg them back. The run rate was increasing, and would have been a good wicket to get at this juncture, because we're at the start of the 16th over, and we did say there were 3 overs that they would have to target before Daniel Holder comes back into the attack, with Govaya as well having 1 over left, as well as the captain Kenroy Williams. Not quite sure he might actually bowl out. But Kelvin John is the new man out there in the middle. The projected score now stands at 138, a bit short from where the captain, Waylon George Joya, initially predicted at the toss. Was looking more in the vicinity of over 160, perhaps even 180.
And they were on course for getting that, but they just seemed to stall. The innings just never kind of got going after the break, and it just fizzled for a bit.
Here is Alexander to the new batsman. And he's swinging it big. It's the Govaya out there, who fumbles in the outfield, and Ikwe sends him back. He doesn't want to come for the additional run with the fumble of Govaya, who has a word with Ikwe. And perhaps he just wants to strike Ikwe Craig, because he recognizes that with his ball striking ability and the form that he's in the tournament, he can do some damage here.
Well, he knows that he's probably going to target Alexander, but then Alexander won't mind that too much, in the sense that he's going to give him a chance. And so he could very well kind of, as you say, get drowned in honey.
He'd have a little bit of incentive as well, because he's already picked up the wicket of Joshua Davis with the first delivery of his second over.
I was looking at his run-up. Can you tell me what is the run? Look at how he's not going to increase his stride. It's all the same thing all the way through.
He's chipping on the onside. Holder is there, and that is quite exceptional work from the young man Holder. We mentioned before it was as though he was sliding on ice. But have a look at this. I thought he was beaten on the boundary edge there, Ruskin, but he did quite superbly.
Yeah, because what he did, he got the angle right. He didn't try to attack it infield. He just kept his eyes on it, and I think he did well. I don't think he touched the ropes with the ball in his hands. He touched it after he had knocked it down.
And it was to his right as well, and he knew to release the ball before he rolled over the boundary edge. Very intelligent fielding from the young man. Andy Alexander, on the other hand, is a bit of a delay here again. Is it the field? He's looking at Holder, trying to adjust. It reminds me of one of those gentlemen running around the Queen's Park Savannah after work.
It's funny, they run up. Now they're going to go back for a second. This is going to be dangerous. And good cricket again, coming in there quickly. Leonardo Julian picking up the ball and releasing it quickly also.
Yeah, and you quite understand Ikwe wanting to come back for another run there with 2 deliveries left in the over. But you're going to have to give, trust your partner. Just like the Blue Water staff, trust and quality. And Kelvin John has the ability to hit some boundaries. You're just going to have to trust your partner to deliver. It's Alexander. 5th ball of the over. Trying to go hard out to go via again, and they're going to look for, Ikwe says no, just a single.
Yeah, you can see him, he's playing that, what we call bush cricket, that cat and mouse cricket out there, just waiting, making it look as if he's not interested, and then swooping on the ball if the batsmen decide, if they take the bait and decide to go back for a second run.
You see quite a lot of that from one Kyron Pollard, who just received his 5th CPL title last night. Congratulations to the TKR team.
And player of the tournament.
The Alexander is on the line of the leg stump. And this is the fielding change, or a minor adjustment they were making. The wicketkeeper gets in a tangle with John trying to collect the throw from Holder, but that adjustment was weird. He went a little bit finer. The end of the 16th over, it's 1-1-1 for 4. John on 2 and Craig on 19.
When you want to get the inside information, you go to the real source, the team members. Let's hear what they're saying.
One of the joys that I have is calling someone and telling them you have that approval. We want to know our clients, the attention that we give the clients. The client feels that warmth.
We help you, the customer.
We are here to help you, achieve your dreams.
Client succeeding, it has helped the bank to succeed.
Lots of great information here. And yes, GMMB is a real bank.
Welcome back to our coverage. 16 overs gone. Nelson is on the board. 1-1-1 for 4. And with the business end of the innings now, Shannon Sports at the crease, inserted by Glenora Sports Club. And it's been periods of a struggling batting during the course of the innings, but we've seen some good boundary hitting as well and some quality stroke play. And a bit of a delay here as there's...
They're changing helmets now. They're getting their helmets.
Holder is back into the attack. Helmets are back out. He's changing ends. His first 2 overs risking just 13 runs.
And did very well. I think all he needs to crown it with now is a wicket or 2. And that would be a good night's work for him. But right now, it's really now up to Craig to fashion something out of the ordinary for his team here. See if he can take on Holder, put some pressure on the young man, see if he can kind of get him off his line, his length.
There's some interesting field changes here as well. Kenroy Williams is at long off. So he's trying to communicate the changes to his fielders. So initially he brought in the deep square leg, who's now retreating back to the boundary. And Mason is being adjusted at point. So the fielders out in the deep. There's a deep square leg, long off, long on, and deep cover. So it's a bit of a challenge because you want to try and think about if you need to protect the mid-wicket boundary. And in fact, they're going to make a slight adjustment as well. The man on the boundary edge is going to go to backward square on the boundary. Ikwe stands out of his crease. Ball is wide outside the off stump. Down to the captain for a single. So we get off Nelson, 1-1-2 for 4.
And again, it's it's taken, well, you can understand the frustration of the umpire because it took a very long time between the last ball of the previous over and the first ball of this over, because they had the delay to get the helmets, and then they couldn't figure out the exact field placing that they wanted, and so it took a long time before we got our first delivery of a new over started.
Third man in place as well, the fifth man on the boundary. Soldier is driven down the ground. Julian at long on another single. So Ikwe is looking for anything within his arc that he can swing through the line and perhaps lift it over the man at extra cover to target that deep extra cover boundary. But if he gets anything on his pads or in line of the stumps, he can look to go over mid-wicket. So interesting choices here, but Holder is very accurate despite the full toss he bowled off the first delivery. He also can bowl a very good Yorker. There seems to be some indecision in the field. Mason is making suggestions. Kenroy Williams is denying them. And the man at backward square now moves to mid-wicket. But they're trying to get the attention of Clark at third man. So I'm not quite sure why the man at backward square was moving when they were trying to move the man at third man.
It's a no ball for height. So you don't want to give away runs at this stage. So now this is a free hit as well.
Yeah, and Ikwe was trying to come back for two on the misfield with the throw. He was looking to come again because he wants that strike for this free hit. As we have a look at the height of this delivery here. Two end of the bat as well.
It was just borderline though, just, in terms of the waist height.
The ball was on a trajectory downward. Here's the free hit. Not a full delivery, and just allowing the single is Franklin Rousseau at extra cover in the ring. And he's searching, clearly searching for the Yorker. He's bowled two full tosses and a third one now, but this one was a better delivery because it was low down into the ankles.
Well, he's trying to, two things. He's trying to attack the stumps, and he's trying to attack it full, trying to get it up to the ankles, maybe.
Guiding it down to third man, who was adjusted. So it's straight to the man Clark, who underarms the return. Not wanting to give away another overthrow. We've seen a number of overthrows in the innings, and one that actually went into the boundary to gift an additional 4 runs to this total of 117. 2 deliveries to come in the 17th over. So the backward square has gone to mid-wicket. So there's nobody behind mid-wicket except for the short fine leg.
And that's well played, but brilliant work by the bowler in his follow-through. Now it's a risk, as you mentioned, because there's nobody, well, there's a short fine leg in the circle, and but nothing behind him. And he's not the quickest of movers in that position either.
So definitely want to keep this one outside the off stump. He's made the adjustment in the last delivery, and this time he's again into the body and striking him, let's just say, high up on the thigh as the over comes to an end. 17 overs gone, and 117 for 4 as the run rate just under 7 runs and over.
Yeah, so 117 for 4, and we consider at the end of that they got 6 runs in that over. And at this stage you want to be getting 10, 12 runs and over as often as you possibly can, because this is where things have to get, you have to get busy because you're going to run out of balls to face, because 17 going, you have 18 deliveries to work with now. And from those 18 you must be thinking, 2 runs a ball at least, possibly 3. And if you get more than that, well, then you live with that. But you cannot afford to not get some big overs here. And you don't want to lose wickets, because that breaks your momentum even more.
Alexander to bowl his 3rd over now. So he is going to bowl out. He's going to bowl perhaps his final over here, because Holder has 1 left and Govaya has 1 left, and they will most certainly complete their spells or their allotment. He's short, and this is what he wants. Ikwe tugs it into the onside. It goes into the 2nd level in the pavilion, into the red chairs, and that's a massive hit from Ikwe Craig.
That was a gift, because it was a rank long hop, and it just sat up there, and then all he had to do was get under it and slap it into the stands.
And it's not too far from us either. It's actually rolled all the way to the back of the seating, just to our left here. Fortunately for us, it wasn't in our direction.
That's
1, 2, 3 for 4.
Yeah, that's the kind of hit that could damage the ball because it's hitting concrete, it hits in metal. And for all you know, once it hits the stand, then it bounces off the stand onto the ground. So it's going from concrete to more concrete. And no wonder why the umpire wants to have a look at it.
Yeah, he's certainly solidifying his position at the top of leading run scorers. Ikwe Craig is on to 28 now. And 1, 2, 3 for 4. Is that another Nelson score, Ruskin?
That was a gift. That was from Alexander.
Here he is again. And a full toss. Hammered down and over the head of Leonardo Julian at long on. Valiant effort from him. And it's just over his head, but that was smoked over the boundary.
Again, another gift, a full toss. And he just had to, again, just get under it. And a good effort from Julian, but another KFC maximum.
He might have gotten a hand on it as well. And Ikwe Craig, who's dispensed with the helmet, just over the head of long on. Perhaps got a hand on it. 129 for 4, Alexander, trying to complete this over now. 2 sixes. They take a quick single here.
And that's good cricket because everybody was expecting another big blast from him. And he decides, look, let me get off strike here.
Yeah, I wonder if he bowled 1 too short because was he tempted that Ikwe sent the helmet back? But then he tried to bowl a Yorker. It was a full toss. And this dragged the length back again on this one and gets a single. So now he has the opportunity to bowl to John. 130 for 4. 1 step down the track. Ikwe is looking for 2. He runs the first one hard, but Julian is out there and just a single.
And that's more like it. You want to keep the ball in the park. You don't want to bowl full tosses and rank long hops at this point in time because he doesn't really have the pace to go into the pitch and get the ball to kick off the wicket.
Stuttering approach from Alexander. He didn't seem comfortable in the run-up there at all. A stutter step in the run-up and delivers a wide down the leg side. And these last 3 overs, Ruskin, with Ikwe Craig, they'll be looking to target 30 runs, 10 overs in each of the 3 overs to come. And so far, he surpassed that. 15 runs in the over so far, and still 2 balls to come.
Yeah, this could be the over that they really turn things around here now.
Looking to target Alexander again, and he's dabbing it down to Clark, who tries to pick it up with his left hand and couldn't do so, and they come through for a single. And that was a good result for Alexander.
Yeah, because I don't know why Ikwe Craig doesn't really drop the hammer on him, because that's a half volley just outside the off stump, and he's just opening the face. Even if he hits that over the head of the extra cover, that's 4 runs, possibly even 6.
So John here, just 1 delivery in the over to come. He wants to treat this like a free hit, and he's bowled him right through the gate. He's treating it as a free hit, trying to go downtown. But for the second time, Andy Alexander targets middle stump. He picks up 3 wickets now and conceded 26, and that's a good result here for Glenora Sports Club to peg them back a bit. They lose another wicket. And have a look at Andy Alexander. When this ball was delivered, look at him on his follow through here. Both hands in front of him as if he's expecting it to be hammered back to him. But the middle stump instead is just rocked back for the second time.